Welcome to Shortstop on Pool, Rack of the Week 154. I want to say welcome to Bob, Greg, and Robert, my latest YouTube supporters. Welcome. And this week we're going to take a look at another rack by John Schmidt when he was up in Calgary last year. This is a video from the Q Sports Live YouTube channel, and I'm grabbing just one rack under terms of the fair use doctrine for critique and commentary. But do go to Q Sports Live channel. They've got a lot of great pool content, and I'll put a link to their channel in the description. So please check them out and give them your support. The last couple of weeks, my rack of the weeks is kind of focused on the idea of when the balls are open early, you should not just look at the break ball, but try to see the entire end pattern and make a specific plan. And ironically, I was rewatching this video by John Schmidt. He runs through this rack in literally 2 minutes. 2 minutes, he clears the table because he sees the end pattern immediately and works the rack in the way that I was talking about. And I'm going to and John Schmidt was narrating. He's got a microphone on him. So I'll let him talk during this rack. And of course, I'll stop and interject my thoughts at a couple points too. Let's get into the rack. John has an inside angle on this break shot, so it's going to be a straight high. And watch the cue ball. Well, the cue ball actually jumped up in the air. But if you notice, and you could replay that, I get this action all the time. His break shot was kind of there. The angle was very much an inside angle. So the cue ball kind of curves off the rail or off the rack, straight to the rail, and then straight up, as opposed to when you have less angle, you can get that cue ball to come 2 rails out. So it just comes straight up. And what so often happens is that the cue ball runs into another object ball and then either dies right there or gets knocked to the rail and stops here. So your first shot of the rack is going to be this way, like this 3 ball, or a ball into the side pocket, which is indeed what John has here. So that's really a really typical pattern you can look for on that type of break shot. Now John's going to choose this shot in half a pocket. His motto is clearing lanes to pockets.
Now here's a nice obvious pattern: 5-9, 2-6, 11. Now I've got to move this 15 a little bit here first.
Did you hear what he just said? I'm sure you did. 5-9, 2-6, 11. So clear the 5-9 to get on the 2, to get on the 6, and the 11 ball's the break shot. Now the 4 ball's actually in that equation as well. And this happens so often in straight pool, in that you don't just have a key ball into the side pocket to get on your break shot. The key ball gets you on a ball that's above the break shot, above it, near and in between the break shot and the rail, and then you just shoot this ball and bounce off and get on your break shot. The point is that there are 13 balls on the table. He shot the break shot and 1 more ball. There's 13 balls on the table, and he sees the end pattern now. This is what you want to. This is the mode you want to get in when you have a rack where the balls open wide, as they did here. There's no balls that are tied up. There's no problem balls. There's just the tiniest bit of, little bit of clustering here, but not much at all. And the next thing he said was, I need to deal with the 15. That's the only problem. The break ball is in the way of this 15 ball. What some straight pool players might do, indeed myself, would be to recognize that this 4 ball is in line with the 15 in this pocket. What that means is, rather than moving the 15 ball, you can play a shot to get position over here for the 4 and use the 4 to set up for the 15. This is a way to run the rack without bumping the balls. Now, that's a possibility, as long as you realize that the 15 is the main concern of the rack and you need to deal with it immediately. And that's what John's done, and he's just electing for this shot because he just sees it. He's got an angle to shoot this 12 in and then just bump the 15 over. When he does that, the 15 goes over here and becomes a blocker ball for the 4. So it remains a problem, and he needs to deal with it early.
Now the pattern is in play pretty nice.
So John's going to the 1 ball. He also has a shot on the 3, but he'd have to stretch over the table, and he has a shot on the 10 and possibly the 4. So the 1 is really the easiest shot, but it's also all the balls are open. So you're using these balls that are up here, remember, are your in the center of the table rack area are your pivot balls. So he's getting rid of perimeter balls and, like he says, clearing lanes to pockets. But so that's another reason for choosing to shoot the one ball at this moment.
So what you're trying to do is just unlock the lanes and get the balls that are unhelpful out of the way. Like this 15 ball's got to go.
And that's what I said last week and the week before. When you're able to identify that I need this ball and I need this ball and this one and this one and this one, it's a process of elimination. So there's 5 balls left. The 3, 15, 13, 10, and 8. Those are the balls he's going to shoot because he was able to identify this pattern. And that's just what I was talking about the last couple of weeks. And then you heard John also say you're opening lanes to pockets. So that's what's on your mind as a straight pool player. Identify the pattern. Open lanes to pockets is another way of saying get rid of blocker balls. The 15 is a blocker ball for the 4. So he's not waiting. He's dealing with it immediately. He's going to shoot the 3 and draw the cue ball up to play position for the 15.
Now, once it goes, I could just drop right in on the 10 on the side. And then at the end, it's 6, 4, 11.
So the last 3 balls is what he's saying is it's 6, 4, 11, obviously. Now he's going to do something here that I've mentioned. So a lot of players might see this. You know, we need to eliminate these 3 balls, and obviously you have a super easy shot on the 10 on the side. Now a lot of players are going to shoot this in and just roll it here because the next shot is super easy 8 ball. Well, how do you play position from the 8 to 11? So you're playing these balls out of order, and John does it the correct way without even thinking about it. I've mentioned this before. That's climb down the ladder. So you're shooting the uppermost ball first, then the next lowest, then the next lowest. For this reason, he's going to play position for the 13 in this pocket next. That keeps things simple, keeps the cue ball out of trouble.
Pattern
you see?
is crazy.
You see how if you identify the end pattern early, now the rest of it kind of makes sense.
If you identify the end pattern early, the rest makes sense. It makes it easy.
Yeah, I got a little funny here.
And it doesn't matter whether you go 4-9 or 5-9 or 9-5.
Make sure I got angle here so when I shoot the 6, I'm not stuck on the rail.
So it's interesting, too. I've talked about this before. There were 2 balls up table, and then there's 3 balls. You get your triangle in the end of the end pattern plus the break ball. That's 6 balls. There's 14 balls on the table after your break shot. So there's 6 balls that he identified immediately after the break shot. That's almost half of the balls on the table. This is why you want to do it. It makes it easy. It makes you shoot the correct balls off and preserve the ones
that would
you need.
Obviously limit my cue ball control to make the 6-4.
So this is a very textbook rack, but I thought it was important to show it. That's the way the end of a straight
pool rack should really look right there.
Yeah, that's the way the end of a straight pool rack should show. How many times in my racks of the week do I have a difficult end pattern and it's hard to get on the key ball or the K2 ball? Look at how easy the end of the rack was. 5 balls were the end pattern, and they all just led naturally one to the next to the next. So I wanted to show this as a textbook rack. John ran this out in just a hair over 2 minutes. He's such a natural, which is to say he's played so many racks of straight pool. He sees this stuff instantly, and that's what's going to help you get longer runs when a higher percentage of the racks during the run are this type of textbook rack where you can see that end pattern and just move it into it real quickly. Let's take a look at his break shot. Notice this is almost the same break shot, straight high ball right into the side of the rack. This time the cue ball went through to the other side of the table. But
all right, so right off the bat, it looks like the 5 could be used as a break ball. So let's remove a couple in the center.
All right, we're gonna stop there. But you hear the thought process. There's 14 balls on the table. The very first thought in his mind was, "What's my break ball for the next rack?" And then he's going to clear a couple of lanes and then see the end pattern. It's just rinse and repeat. But with that break shot that he shot, there's almost no chance of scratching. And that's why you're going to see good players like John Schmidt and Jason Shaw in his 714 run. Almost every single one of his break shots were this angle, this inside angle into the side rack, and not a shallow inside angle, but a good, healthy inside angle. You've got the most energy going into the rack and the smallest chance of the cue ball scratching. All right, that's enough. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Next week, we're going to take a look at a rack from what we think is the highest video recorded run by a female pool player, a run of 146. So stay tuned to learn about that. And we're going to take a look at one of the racks, a really good rack by Anna Kaplan. So remember, if you're going to play pool, play it straight. And see you next week on Rack of the Week. Bye.